Well, thank you so much for joining us again this morning. So here we are with this Easter, and are you over the other one?
Yes.
For now.
What I was thinking about was, no matter how little you think you are, no matter how inconsequential you think you are, there's some people still around you who are looking up to you.
Absolutely.
And it is your duty to reach out and actually help them.
Influence them one way or the other.
Or another.
Well, this morning on lifestyle, our conversation is perhaps related and maybe slightly different. Because, you know, as you saw, I mean, we were supposed to talk about, what now? Supposed to talk about music. But for whatever, about technology. For whatever reason, we're unable to do that right now. However, we want to talk about music and the role it plays at a time like this. Alero, what's your favorite kind of music? Do you have one?
Do I have?
A favorite kind of music?
Actually, a lot depends on my mood.
Okay. So you're in the Easter mood?
Yes. One, I love hymns.
Okay.
Okay, I'm older now, so I think I'm more sensible. When I was younger, the main reason I went to church was to go and sing. I don't have a beautiful voice, but I love to sing hymns.
Okay.
I can do classical music.
How is classical music different from hymns?
Oh, okay, all right. Mabino. I can do love songs.
Okay.
Of course, in that area, Lionel Richie just takes the biscuit. Then I can take what we used to call in those days progressive jazz.
I'm hearing that.
The Bob Jameses, the Eric Gales, you know. I can do those too.
If you're in the same school of thought as Alero this morning, let's see how important that is to you at Easter. Because, you know, one thing that always stands out at Easter period is the music.
Hymns.
Hymns, and there are those who call with what they call Easter cantata, you know, and all those things.
Oh dear.
Well, please let's have some conversation with this morning with music therapist Caleb Eguero. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You've listened to.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having. Thank us for having you
again. Okay, the second time.
That's what she said.
Thank you so much, man.
So you've listened to her.
Yeah.
We could go on and on about all kinds of music.
Yeah.
But she says Easter mood, she can listen to just about anything. And she has also classified her taste for music based on age. Is that significant?
Yeah, it is. Because like you said, the older you grow, the things that you're looking out for in music differs. You're looking out for the impressions that the music creates in you, because we play music to reflect our state per time. Whatever song we play, to a large extent, that's how you are feeling on the inside of you. So you find on the outside what reflects your inner state. That's where song comes in. For instance, if I'm in a reflective mood, I won't play something that is on the upbeat, because it's contrast to how I feel. And so this season for us as Christians, we're in a reflecting mood. So the songs that we play should, in a way, help us to reflect very well. So what she said was very, very profound.
So it's not a time for spiritual warfare?
No, we're not warfaring, no. We're not doing that now. We're in a victory season. Victory season, yeah. Christ conquered, he defeated the devil. And here we're celebrating. It's a time for us to give thanks, to look at all the things he did for us. So we take songs that help us to reflect those injunctions.
I'm going to provoke a few things,
Please
Caleb.
The Hallelujah chant.
Oh, okay. Yes. Why does the Hallelujah chorus seem to be more prominent at a time like this?
Yeah, because
celebration.
Yeah, Hallelujah chorus, it's not just music. I think someone was able to capture the experiences that happens in heaven.
Oh.
So it resonates with everybody because we all came from heaven. So when the heavenly sound is being played, we are reminded of, oh wow, there's something about heaven. Because it's not just, Hallelujah chorus is relevant across board, but Easter and Christmas, that's one of the songs that fit into Easter, fitting into Christmas at the same time. Contextually, it can be used for Easter, it can be used for
resurrection, Christmas, birth. Same song.
So the same song. That's one of the song over time that cut across both. There are two different contexts. Easter is one, Christmas is another one. But Hallelujah Chorus fits in between both. Because of the way it was written and the message it carries, like part of the things we're talking about. The message of Hallelujah Chorus is vast. It's not just uni. It cut across the birth of Christ, his victory, his royalty, how he was enthroned, how he will be enthroned, everything about Christ. And so it cut across. That's why it's played at all time, at all seasons of the Christian, because our Christian faith has so many seasons. There are times where we have to reflect on his birth, his death, then his life, his suffering. Everything is, that's what they call the passion. All is reflected in Hallelujah Cross. That's oratorio piece. Everything is written there.
Is that also why in some environments they believe to sing it you have to be standing?
Yeah, you have to. I think it's a practice that came when it was first performed. That was a practice that came with it when it was performed, because people were wild, so they stood up. So it became a norm that when Hallelujah Cross is performed. But I wonder if everyone that listens to Hallelujah Cross that stands up understand what that actually means. It's like, okay, wow, this is beautiful. Then it communicates. We're not just being wowed by music, but there's a lot of communications going on about how can a song just capture everything about Christ. So wow, this is beautiful. People stood, but not just okay when they are unhinged, everybody just standing up. If you don't know what it means, just even the people that are not Christian just stand just to observe. It's not like a moment of silence that we're observing. Let's no, it's not. That's not what it's about. But it's almost become like a moment of silence where people just stand, okay, keep quiet. But no, it's just the message was well passed across by Angel Messiah.
Okay, now, one of the, and I'm glad you started on that note, talking about, the import of the music and all of that. But, the interesting question on my mind now is, because there are a number of people at home watching us right now. Some are not watching, some are just listening to whatever. No. What role, really, does music play on the faith lifestyle of anyone? People listen to music for diverse reasons.
Sure.
Well, Alera has told you why she listens to certain music. But there are those who listen to certain music because someone else is listening to the music, not because they feel like it.
Yeah.
So, is there a place, an essence for music on faith and the lifestyle of faith that anyone wants to live?
Yeah, I would say capital yes to that. Last time I came here, I spoke about music and its intention, what it is intended to do. There's a correlation between music and faith. One of the ways music help us outside of faith now, it helps us to learn. Educational-wise, music helps children to do well in the academics. That is just music outside of faith. If music is very impactful outside of faith, then faith can also music can also have its place in faith. Now, what does it do? The teachings that we go through in our churches, Martin Luther King, not the American president now, but the German preacher, has a whole lot of things to say about music and theology. Part of the things he said next to the text that we study in the world in church is music. And he said when we put sound and theology together, music and theology serve redemptive function. Now, because people learn through music what they may not be able to learn through teaching. So we can use music to establish a truth. We can use music to also think about a truth or a concept. So part of the things music does for us is that we use that, it's a platform to teach truth, doctrines. Now, when we talk about salvation, there are songs that comes to mind. Now, if we write songs around salvation, so if someone may not have the opportunity to listen to a pastor preach about salvation, because we are all glued and drawn towards music, we could send a message across to that person through music. And music is something that brings everybody together. So we use music in faith to learn our faith, to understand our faith, because one of the things that music does for us is that people behave based on what they believe. So we can use music. Music is being used most of the time to establish belief systems. If it's doctrine or if it's from scriptures. Every religion has its own kind of music. It cuts across. So definitely, for instance, now we're in Easter season. Part of the things music does for us is a forum for which we can associate. If I start singing a song right now, you want to join in because it represents what you stand for. Outside of the things we teach in church, your belief system is also reflected in your songs and the kind of songs you play. So definitely, there's no way someone like me now will play a song that doesn't teach scriptures. So we can use, music plays a very, very strategic role in helping to shape faith and define faith and help us to associate where we belong in this faith movement. Definitely, you never hear any Islamic song from my mouth because that's not my faith. So the song I sing is a reflection of my faith and my stand and my belief and the teachings and the doctrines that governs my faith.
I'm happy you used the word strategy.
Yeah.
So it plays a strategic
role. Yeah.
But the expectation naturally then would be, if music is that strategic and integral to faith, then those who profess faith with the quote-unquote indoctrination of music that they have used to buffer their faith and their belief system shouldn't really act or behave outside their beliefs. I mean, that's something you said just now, that music, your behavior is informed by your beliefs. If that is the case, then we shouldn't have any hatred in the world, should we?
Good.
So it means then that Alera, why are you laughing?
No, you've taken my mind back to what we discussed.
Previous conversation.
Yes. Love.
Yeah, I mean, so
1 Corinthians 13.
If the crux of the Christian faith, which season we're celebrating now, is love, and most of the songs in the faith goes one way or the other in that direction, and belief informs behavior, then what is missing?
Now, what is missing is this. We don't know, because one of the things that is so the downside of music is that because it's a fusion of text and tune, most people that we see that listen to music, they love the tune, but not what the message is saying.
Okay, now.
So what makes music meaningful?
Some don't even have a message.
Don't have a message, so definitely. So how you craft your message and how you set it to tune, that's where the thing is. For this generation that we are in, we love songs not because it really makes sense. We just love the tune. But in our faith, we should focus more on what is the message in this song I'm listening to. Then what kind of garment, that's what music does, a garment that you use to clothe your ideas, your write-up. And so if we do that, then so we know we're not raised to think, because we understand that music affects you in 3 ways. It affects you cognitively, it affects you emotionally, and also motor skills. When I listen to a song, I learn something, then I feel a particular way, then I do something, motor skills, you want to move your body. But the truth be told is that if we pay attention to the text of what the music is saying, I believe that music will have that advantage of that benefit of helping us to behave better. But we just listen for listening's sake. So what we advocate is that we should not just take songs. We should look at the writer of the song. Okay, does this communicate something? And what is it communicating? The truth should not be hidden. The truth should be truth. It doesn't have to be scattered everywhere, but I should know the truth in this song. So what we need to say is that when we look at song, we should learn to listen. We hear songs, but we don't listen to songs.
Hearing and listening are two different things. I agree with you on that.
Yes.
But let's go back to Alera.
Yeah.
While she was in her prime, a fifth of Beethoven was funkified. You remember that song? I forgot the name of the artist now who did that song, and I mean it was on the dance halls and all of those things. That didn't have any message per se. It was instrumental. It was feel good. So then, how does that kind of music help to speak in a way that will inform behavior?
Now, if I've listened to the original sound before, whenever that tune is played, it's a reminder to what I've listened before, so I can reflect again. But if I've not learned that song before, I've not heard it before, then it's a little bit different. A little bit different. That is where the spirit of the writer now comes. What that music can be used to do anything, but that's not what the writer. That's not the intention of the writer, of the composer. And so, because music goes beyond words, it's about function of, like I said, words and tune. And so, in that instance, music is a reminder of past experiences, of past informations, of things that you have learned in the past that you can apply presently.
But that's not to say that all music have vocals or
no. Some instrumental music,
Some are instrumental.
And they still carry messages.
They still carry messages, So
what? How do you decode those messages?
Now, to do that, you must a little bit musically inclined and be glued to music, because, for instance, when I play something on the strings, for instance, I'm not communicating violence. I'm communicating reflections. Every instrument has its implications. If, for instance, you want to go to war battle, the trumpet is synonymous with time for war, victory, let's add Eric King or something. Every of those instruments have what they implies by sound. And so what they imply by sound is the message that they carry. or what they are preaching. So for instance, if you hear the drums, it's telling you about something that has to do with dance movement. So even whilst there's no lyrics on the sound from the drums, once you start hearing drums, it's just simplify, okay, we're talking about rhythms, movement of the body. So when I hear string or piano functions both. It can be for reflective, it can be for different reasons. So sound in a way passes the message across without, I think this song that somebody will study music called music without words. You can actually have meaningful music without words. So but that part of music, that type of music communicate more with your emotion, not your cognitive. So you're sending sound, you're sending a message to your system through through your emotions, not cognitive, because there's no word to think about. But there's a feeling to reflect on that creates a picture. So you derive the meaning of the sound from how you feel, how it's making you feel. So in that case, you will not have one message from that song. It varies, so based on how you feel. So whatever you come up with that from that kind of music, it depends on how you feel, what the music, how you feel the music, how you perceive it. So you can get a message from a sound.
So what you're saying is that your reaction to that music is subjective.
Yes, very subjective, not objective, very subjective. Very, very subjective.
Okay, so what kind of music? Okay, we're talking about faith music and not just
any kind of
Christianity or
faith.
It could be so long as it is faith.
Yeah.
Okay. What is supposed to be the function of faith music on lifestyle?
Okay.
Irrespective of what faith it is. We know that generically, all faith preaches peace.
Yeah.
All faith preaches love and all of that.
What
is supposed
to be the function
of faith music on anyone's life?
First, to teach doctrines. The function of music is to teach doctrines and belief systems. Two, as a means of expression. When every faith that is practiced on earth has a kind of music that's associated with them. In Islamism, they have their songs. In Hinduism, in Buddhism, they have their song. In Christianity, we have the soul. It's a means of expression. And what we have from research discovered that music helps people to express themselves more than any other means, through any other means. So music is very effective when it comes to in terms of its expression. So help teach faith, doctrines, establish doctrines and teach faith. Then also helps to as a means of expression of your faith. Then three, it's a means of preserving truth. The songs the hymns that were written in the 14th century, these were truths and revelations that were captured then that has been preserved. We might have forgotten how they said it, but the fact that it's captured in song and lyrics and tune, it's one of the ways to preserve. So the function of music cut across, but I just want to sum it down to these three functions: as a means to teach truth, as a means of expression, then as one of the ways to capture a truth for preservation of truth and belief system doctrines.
How does one identify the kind of music to listen to for himself? There's something you said the other time that might help someone to know, because we asked a question when you said belief informs behavior, and music is a way of reinforcing beliefs, in one. If belief is enforced or reinforced by music and it informs behavior, how come people are still behaving differently? Perhaps that's to say there is faith music, there is what some will call inspirational music, and then there are those who are neither faith nor inspirational. So would you be in any way recommending a quota? Because we can't do without... Alero, why are you laughing?
I was thinking about reggae.
Yeah.
Would you be recommending or suggesting a quota that, okay, this quota of music, faith music is good for you, this quota of non-faith music is safe for you, and all of those things?
And also recommend when you can listen to each of them, which is the best time to listen to them, to have any meaningful effect.
Okay.
Or should I say actionable effect?
Yeah, like I said the last time we were talking about the therapy study and discussion, is that we must be intentional about, like, when you want to read a book, you don't just read at random. I need to improve on my people's skill. I look for books in that area that talk about people's skill and people's management. I read. But if you don't know what you need, the problem is that we don't know what we need part-time. What do you actually need to learn? Where are there deficiencies in your life as a person that you need to upgrade? So music becomes relevant when of late I've not been too patient with people. So look for songs that talks about patience.
So essentially, you're saying people should be deliberate.
Deliberate, yeah, deliberate. We're not deliberate. That's the problem we're having. So we start random, and nobody learns anything at random. You can't learn this, no. What are you looking at for? What do you want to learn? What are you, okay, what's the frame of your thoughts? What's the predominant thought right now? So areas where you need to grow up, area where you need to let go. So that's where music becomes relevant. The intention of music is not just to give you something to just carry you along. It's to do something to your conscience, prick your conscience in a way, affect you in a particular way. But we don't see that happen anymore because it's at random. Just something to keep me, so we use it as a work song. As I'm busy, let me just have something by my side to accompany what I do. That is one of the functions of music. But when you subject music to just work song, it's not really impactful. So what you need to do, be intentional about what you listen to, because it's for you to also learn. Music is a platform to learn, to share ideas, then so give you voice to express. You express something. So if you're not intentional about it, anything just going. So at that instance, the music is not affecting you. It's not doing anything to you. It's just accompanying, just accompanies. But the music is meant to leave a message with you, influence your behavior.
So sometimes, essentially, you're saying whether you are conscious of it or you are not conscious of it, music is influencing.
It's influencing you, definitely. It's influencing you because, like we said about believing, behaving. But before believing, there has to be hearing. So music, until you hear something, you will not think about something and you will not do something. So as you're hearing something, whether you like it or not, you are believing something, consciously or unconsciously. Definitely, you're going to do something.
I was telling my kids once. I said to them, music is a kind of coding mechanism.
You're profound.
Really?
Yeah, profound.
So people, whether you are conscious about it or you are not, you are being programmed to do something.
Yeah.
So what then are the risks we run when we are not deliberate?
And that's what you see in our society. Even including Christians, you see people, they come to church, worship God, do a manner of stuff, but get into their car, play music that is totally contrast to the experience they just had in church. Now, and the latest information will always override the former one if you're not careful. And so definitely, you see people breaking traffic lights, people drive against traffic, we drive one way, Christians from church, because what we have heard, the new information that we're absorbing is overriding, and because it's coming through music, it becomes more powerful, because text on their own, lyrics on its own is powerful, but when you throw it inside music, it becomes more powerful.
Because it has a repetitive power.
So even when we hear messages from our religions, whatever faith we practice, once it is turned into a song, it becomes a weapon. I can easily forget what you said, but if it's turned into song, it goes into all my fibers, so I can recall the messages and I'm going to respond based on that. So we must be very careful what we listen to and be intentional about how we listen to songs. There's also, if we add anything to that, let's think through what we hear. Let's look out for the lessons. But that is if those songs are written with the intention of lessons, or written to just make money, put it on the air, have a lot of YouTube followers, make money out of it. Because that's one of the things we are running right now, because most of the things that are our airwaves, they are not for lessons. Like Mommy was saying, in our own era, there are songs that were written for just to bless society, just teach us good values. Make you day look well before you cross. Edna Goli. Look your left, look your right. No, these are songs that teach something. So if you want to cross the road, anytime I want to cross the road, that song always stay in my mind. Look your left, look your right. That was some 30-something years ago. Because it's not gospel, it's not this, but it teaches something that, please, before you cross the road, as simple as that could be, the value.
And another value that has been taught recently is, nobody go dey where money no dey. Look
at that.
Your low is a lie. Ma fi billing pa me.
Billing.
Imagine. That's the area we're in.
Sorry?
That's the area we're in.
Because, but one would say that teaches as well, because some people believe that you just have to give until you are dry. And once you are dry, they look for the next book.
Next person.
Of course.
So, but the challenge here, one of the challenges that I see that I'm hoping we'll be able to correct with this conversation is people always go with pop music, popular music, whether it is teaching anything or not. Please, how can we draw that balance? And that's the question that she raised. How can we draw that balance? Because we can't say that people shouldn't listen to secular music, so to speak. But what should people be looking out for when we listen to music, whether it's faith music or not?
Part of the things our age is experiencing, because values are not there anymore. Values are not there. Who raised you? How were you raised? Definitely, if you are raised well, be you whatever person you are, if you are raised well, that will also influence what you do. So core values are not, in our society, we are going to lack values, irrespective of faith. So part of the things we need to go back to before we even talk about music and value it has to people is that, how are people being raised? How are they schooled? Who are their parents? Who are their influencers? Because it will always have an adverse effect in the music. It will. Because if you see what is going on in our environment right now, go back to the history of these guys. A lot of our people that are writing the kind of vocal songs that we're seeing right now is that they were not raised properly. Because you see that there's mass destruction right now in the society because people are violent, people don't know how to respect anymore. So I cannot write a song, be secular or gospel, if that communicates what I don't practice. So what I write is a function of what I
speaks a lot about
them. So I'm writing me. I'm writing me. I'm not just writing a song. Please get it. I'm not just writing a song. I'm writing me. So that's it. So the first thing we need to do is let's go back to the times where the environment, where there are core values, where people live based on value, high principle, they live on standard, they live some things you don't do. It's not because you're a Christian, no, it's just not ethical. It's not just right to do. We're fellow human beings. So then you say, we'll start having good songs in the atmosphere. It doesn't need to be Bible. But lessons from the Bible can be crafted into songs.
Well, you also talked about, popularity the other time. You spoke about where do we place where is the place of peer pressure here? My friends are listening to this music. I want to be able to talk when they are talking. Where do we draw that balance? I mean, you've spoken about how people are raised and all of that, but there are those who would say that's neither here nor there.
Peer pressure is not because of this. Why are you doing what you do? Don't forget that legacy is something that will speak after time. For instance, Bob Marley, for instance, look at his song. That guy has been gone for a long time.
You are talking about old people.
No.
How about the 20-year-olds, the 13-year-olds, the 25-year-olds today?
The funny thing about it, there are guys that are also pulling stunts positively across the globe, because based on how they were raised. So if we search for people that are doing stuff within their 20s, there are people that they are in the minority, because the music that has nothing to offer is propagated, so it's everywhere. So it becomes popular. When something is popular, what value are these popular songs adding? Because let's check the message, and because definitely, how well are we influenced to do good things from the popular songs that we have? It's popular, but it's not making any impact in terms of helping us to behave better.
Oh, it's making some impact. It's
but negative way.
Enriching some people's bank accounts.
That's not really impact.
It is impact.
That's financial impact. For them. It does for them. The posterity. When this world changes and when things are done properly, will that song be relevant in the next 50 years? Just imagine our world changes right now, where they have good value systems everywhere. These songs cannot fit in anymore. So what's the popularity? Is not relevant anymore. But good message will always be relevant anytime, any day, anywhere.
And we're still listening to Fela.
We're listening to Fela.
Unfortunately. Not because Fela's music, because you spoke about the place of instruments and all of that. That's amazing music, but it's sad that 40 years on, some of the messages that he preached those many years ago, they're still sadly relevant. Caleb, we could go on and on with you again. We'll have to post this till another time. Thank you for being here this morning. Caleb Aguero is a music therapist and has spoken about faith, the effect, I already put it the other time, the relevance of faith to
music to faith.
To faith life. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Before we go, we got a reaction from Dr. Samuel Uhier regarding the Easter thing, and he says, Easter is the queen of feasts. It predates Jesus' resurrection and only feast recorded in the Bible, Acts 12, 1-6. Easter is the celebration of the goddess of fertility, called Eostre, with egg as its symbol. Jesus' resurrection on Easter Sunday took the shine off the celebration of the fertility goddess, and Jesus became the reason for the celebration as it obtains in the celebration of Christmas.
So now we don't have that one again, we now have this one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's another resurrection altogether. We're back after now for the home stretch. Please stay with us.